Welcome to letter 2. You're back. I guess, despite the first letter being the most boring of the 4, you have survived it, and we are ready to go on to letter 2. Trust me, it only gets better from here. So picture it. About a few weeks later, after receiving the first letter, I receive a second letter from her. And it looks like a copy of the first letter. It actually has a copy of that same letter that we read in the first episode of this series. And so I thought, oh, she's just going to start spamming this to me. And this is how it's going to play out. Now that I bought an ISBN for my published book, now I'm going to be on the target of this lady till the end of time. And she's just going to keep sending me, or I didn't even know if other people were going to start sending me things based on that information, or if it was just this one publishing company that was like stalking the ISBNs, looking for people who bought barcodes for books, and then looking for self-publishing to go after self-published people or target them in advertising. So basically, what happened was I put that one letter aside, and I'm like, whatever, I got a copy of it already, so I'll just keep the first copy that I have, because I knew that this was special. I knew something special was on the way. I didn't know how special it was going to be, so I just kept the first letter. I didn't line my bird cage with it. I didn't do any of that. I just kept it because I knew somehow that it was special, because it was not copy edited. So I knew it was something I wanted to share with my other author friends in the furry fandom someday. It only took me 5 years to do it. Thank you very much. Thank you for reminding me that this existed. But so basically, what happened is I took that first letter aside and I found a second letter. And I'm like, wait a minute, this is a different letter. And yes, it was a different letter. So here is letter 2 of this series of insane solicitations. Grab a drink, grab some popcorn, let's hit this thing. Maybe you've been busy out in the backyard shaking the money tree. And money tree, you are dang sure is a proper noun. And by the way, that's an MOS, I guess. Moss. Like she was trying to do some sort of a thing up here. Like she was trying to do some sort of a thing up here with this. I got to make sure that I keep my arrow on the right thing because I'm working with 2 monitors and I accidentally did that. Whoops. Anyways, Dear Tantru, my name is Crazy Publishing Lady here. A couple of weeks ago, I wrote and offered you what I thought was ... the whole world on a silver platter. But I have not heard from you. Maybe you were too busy working on your book to read my letter. Maybe you just threw it away, thinking it was just another piece of junk mail. Maybe you already selected another book publisher. Maybe you were on vacation in Tahiti. Or maybe you read it and intended to call us, but never got around to it because your boss has you working until midnight. Actually, that last one's probably the most accurate. In 2015, I was my second year into my current position and of my current promotion, and it was heck. I gotta imagine. A lot easier now that I'm used to doing it, but back then, no timing, no spacing, man. No pacing. Anyways, you stupid young me. Anyways, just in case you never saw it, I enclosed another copy, which is that thing I alluded to earlier. Okay, enough kidding around. Actually, I just noticed something that I didn't denote with my red pen here. You notice how this, look at the formatting of this, by the way, just right here. This left column. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna save all most of the criticisms to the end, but I'm just gonna say there's no indent on here, and here, but there's indentations here. So the indentations are inconsistent. Perfectionist. Anyways, Just in case you saw it, I enclosed another copy. And by the way, I don't know if they're doing this on purpose, just as like, hey, you know that grammar thing, you're doing it wrong. I'm going to respond to you by showing you how bad you are at grammar, right? And then they're like, oh, do you want to work for us? This was a test. It's like Willy Wonka. Oh, no. Anyways, okay, enough kidding around, yes. Let's talk about you and your book. Yes, let's. We provide a wide range of poof services and... Wait, what? God help me. We have a wide range of poof services and work especially well with authors that are described below. Do any of these descriptions sound like you? Am I the kind of author that looks at that PF and goes, what the hell are you trying to say to me, lady? Did you just have a stroke while writing? You are a trooper. You know, we need a trooper like you. Yes. Do you mean wide range of PDF services? Of proofreading services? I think that's what you meant, of proofing services or proof services. But, like, the middle of your word had a lobotomy. And just, like, all the stuff just fell out of the middle and you were left with just the first letter and the last letter. I don't even have the words. I don't. Are you... So, that's redundant. Do any of these sound like you? And then, like, start, are you, like... And work especially with that, like, she should use one or the other, but not both. Like, don't use the question and the leading statement. And by the way, she uses ellipses a lot here, so I'm going to emphasize each one. Are you, ellipses, the going out of your mind getting this product finished writer, ellipses? You spent hundreds, perhaps thousands of hours creating your manuscript, and you are really proud and excited. But taking the raw manuscript and turning it into a beautiful and perfectly formatted product is proving to be a challenge, or maybe even an overwhelming task. You would love some help. Be sick and tired of voice systems and just want a live person writer, ellipses. I think we can all relate to this, ellipses plus one period. You know when you call a company and all you get is a computer. Press 1 for this and press 2 for that. And 10 minutes later, you end up in a voicemail box and cannot figure out how to get a live person on the phone. You just want a human being. Frustrating. I would switch the period and the exclamation point there. But that's how it sounds anyway to me. The writing books all my life and just want to write and have my books be really good with no hassles, writer. Really good. Putting claw art, by the way, this is a real faux pas to most professional writers. The snobby elitist writers really don't like having, qualifiers in front of words to emphasize something. They usually replace it with like one word that's like extravagant or wonderful, or like instead of like really good, really good. It's really good, George. Anyways, what is this? You're probably wondering what this scribbling is. I will explain it. I will explain it when we go back over, but I'll just keep in the flow for right now. The book is your baby. The words are a masterpiece, and you want the look and feel of the finished book to be a masterpiece as well. But you don't have the knowledge to make that happen. The tired of logistical hassles of getting my books to show up at the right place at the right time, at my speaking engagements, writer, ellipses. You are a professional speaker, traveling all over the country all the time, and you probably have people ghostwrite for you, so this probably doesn't apply to you. You have books and materials that need to be at a proper venue in advance, but that is always a hassle. You would love to have someone handle all the details of getting everything in the right place at the right time. I write kids' books, and because I love it, but all the technical stuff about printing books is just blowing my mind, writer. Ellipses. You are a creative genius. Writing and illustrating children's books is your forte, but all the technical stuff like bleeds, gutters, perfect versus settle, etc. can be overwhelming. You just want someone to make it look like what you see. Wait, let me read that again. You just want someone to make it look like you see it in your mind. How you picture it in your mind. Like, that is a clunky sentence. I tripped over that. It's like you picture it in your mind, not like make it look like you picture it in your mind, not like you see it in your mind. It's just like the see and look and see and I don't know, just clunky to me. Personal preference, I guess. I want my one and only book that I've spent years producing to be a masterpiece with no hassles, writer. And if you exist, it's going to be a hassle. It's called work. Having a work ethic, writer. Oh, never mind. I'll just do drugs until I come up with something creative, writer. I don't, by the way. But I know some writers who swear by it. And whatever works for you. Okay? I'm not drunk while doing this. I'm actually drinking actual water to parch my throat. Because if I was spending my time inebriated, I wouldn't find all the craziness that is of our real world. The real world is drunk. I don't need to drink. Anyways, you are not a book printing expert. In fact, you know almost nothing about it. You just know that you put your heart and soul into this book and you want it to be perfect. Which is why you're coming to someone who uses ellipses at the end of every single one of their upper clauses. Anyway, I know what I want my book to look like, but I don't know how to get there, writer. It is one thing to create a manuscript in Microsoft Word and format it nicely. It is quite another to add the special touches that make the difference between a Word document and a professionally formatted book. You can imagine it, but you don't have the knowledge to make it happen. To be fair, that is true. That is a third of it. So I talked about my book that I had published, self-published. Like, a third of it is writing it, a third of it is editing it, and a third of it is formatting it. And trust me, it takes at least, if it took you 1 year to write the book, it's going to take you 6 months to format it if you don't know what you're doing. So paying somebody to do that for you is actually a godsend if they're willing to do it for you. Especially if you don't care about the margins and things like that. Because, yeah, it is one thing to have a Microsoft Word document which has, like, you know, which is good for technical writing, but like narrative, like if you're talking about like fiction books that have a more narrative style and immersive style, there's like different formats that are actually more prone to it. Like, obviously you have like the size of your book and stuff like that. I won't get too much into details, but yes, that is a big thing. If any section that I find is probably this. If anything would have hooked me, it would have been this. If she had put that on the outset and not bogged it down in so much other gaff, and, you know, given herself too much rope to hang herself with, I probably would have been sold. I would have been like, yeah, next time I write a book, I'm gonna do that. Because, like, I did, you know, hire a friend to help me with it, but even between the two of us, it took a long time and a lot of effort, and even like a lot of trial and error. Anyways. Back to the thing. I trusted an online company before I was disappointed, writer. Ellipses. It seems so easy. You upload your file. It looked good on the online proof, but then you get the actual book and it was not right. The margins were off. The page numbers were in the wrong place, and it just was not what you had hoped for. Since you uploaded the file, the printer said, "Too bad," and you are stuck with the product that is a real letdown. I haven't had that issue. Like, the formatting it, yes, and having to re-preview and preview it, yes. But like the preview was pretty accurate to what I got in the end, and I was happy with that. Anyways, the I want my book to look more professional than it does writer, ellipses. Wow, I just read that out loud and it sounds terrible. The I want my book to look more professional than it does. Oh, never mind. I was thinking of that it is. It's like, my book's not professional at all, and I want it to look more professional. Sorry, I flubbed here. Maybe I do need a drink. Anyways, you did the best you could. You thought it was decent, but then you flipped through the pages and compared it to other books you see on the shelves. It is just not quite as nice. You can't really put your finger on it, but you wish someone who really knew about book formatting or cover design would have said something to help make it better. The tell me how to fix this mess writer, ellipses. You tried to format your book, but something went wrong somewhere, and every time you fix one thing, something else gets messed up somewhere else in the document. The images just don't look right. Some of them are blurry. You're at your wit's end. You just want someone to fix it and get the book printed. So I will say that yes, these 4 areas right here probably apply to me the most. However, there's a lot of redundancy here. Like formatting. Like I just don't know how to do formatting. That's basically all these 4 people are the same people, right? They're the same writer. These 4 people are the same writer because these 4 sections speak to me, but they're the same people. Like it's redundant a little bit. Anyways, all right. So now page 3. Here we go. Oh my God, there's more. The I want someone who knows a lot about books to talk to me about this project writer, ellipses. You called a couple of companies and you got through the voicemail maze only to talk to a person who obviously did not really know what they were talking about. You would love to speak to someone who has been involved in the design and creation of thousands of books and can really advise you on the best position and the best ways to achieve your vision. The professional who has already written several books but is not really happy writer. You mean, or not to call out people, the last unicorn guy maybe? Yeah, we'll get to that. No, I won't cover that. Anyways, you have not been happy with a myriad of issues. Maybe you just don't like how the printer handled your book. Maybe they printed exactly what you submitted. But were some errors that you feel should have been caught. Or maybe some suggestions to improve the book that they failed to suggest. Whoa! Well, back up a bit. Maybe you don't like the printer. Maybe they printed exactly how you submitted, but there are some errors that you feel they should have caught, or maybe some suggestions to improve the book that they failed to suggest. Suggestions that they failed to suggest. I guess it's fair. I hate redundancy. There's redundancies everywhere. I don't know. Maybe they didn't return your calls in a timely fashion. Maybe they changed the deal mid-project. Pray we don't alter it any further. Or shipped the order late or to the wrong place. Maybe the person on the phone really didn't know what they were talking about. They just don't care. But we care. No, you didn't. You could have. I have no problem writing and formatting books, but need help with marketing writer. Oh God, I fall under that. Ellipses. For you, the book was the easy part. Figuring out how to get your book exposed and to generate sales is where you need help. And of course, she spends like 2 sentences on that. Why couldn't all those other sections be this short? Or maybe you were not even quite that far, and all you have is a handwritten manuscript. Or maybe points in all of these types of writers resonate with you, especially the redundant ones. You need help everywhere. Let me make one thing clear. We are not for everyone, but if you can relate to anything I said above, then we can help take all that pain away and leave you with a finished product that will put a smile on your face for years to come. And service, that's a given. but not just good service. I mean, knock your socks off better than you imagined, rapid response, knowledgeable, flawless personal service. She used that sentence in the last letter. Man, she's bookending this stuff, man. Why is this its own paragraph? And in bold. Anyways, and it's the same sentence. Oh my god, that's a fragment. Oh my god, that's a fragment! I just realized that's a fragment! Wow! Okay. Knocked my socks off, you did! Knocked them. Indeed. For certainly that you may have done so. Maybe. Wow, it's a fragment. I gotta read that again, make sure, but we literally will give you service on a silver platter. Oh, she did bookend it. You see, that was the first page. You remember when she was saying that she handed me the whole world on a silver platter? She just did by giving me fragments of a silver platter. Anyways, we know that satisfied clients are the lifeblood of our business, and we will do whatever it takes to make sure you are satisfied in every way possible. If you've referred to my last offer, I offered you a free 52-point professional. Don't go to print until you make sure it's perfect. Evaluation of your book. And once again, book is a proper noun here. The offer is still on the table. All right, that's it. So, yes, that is a fragment, but not just good service. Like, that is a lead, right? You cannot start a sentence with a conjunction and then end the sentence without a comma. It does not work. It does not compute because you are saying but or and another thing. It would literally be like me saying and another thing. And you're like, and what is that thing? No, that's the end of the sentence. That's the end of the sentence. That is like grammar like 101 botch. That's why I'm so surprised by it, and I'm surprised I missed it the first time until I read it out loud just now. I've read through this thing, by the way, 3 or 4 times. Because I wanted to, prepare it a little bit, and plus I wanted to remember how funny this was. But even rereading it, I find new gems, and that is probably the biggest one I have found so far. A fragmented sentence that leads with a conjunction. That is deadly bad. That is like, ouch. That is, ooh, God. But not just good service. Oh, really? What kind of service? Oh, no, that's the end of the sentence. You thought there was more to the sentence. Oh, no, new paragraph, son. Oh, my God. Help me. Anyways, so yes, let's go back. So yes, obviously the indentation here is an issue. This is weird. I don't know why you just didn't make the whole world on a silver platter one sentence. Like, if you're going to break formatting rules, break them right. Like, fine, okay, make the whole world on a silver platter its own thing. But don't do the whole world new sentence, new paragraph, new line on a new line, silver platter, right? Make it its own line, and then you do your little ellipses thing or whatever, and then put like but I have something to offer for you down there, okay? You do that. Anyways, here's the thing. I wouldn't be so hard on this if it wasn't an advertisement for proofreading. Like, if it was just some random letter from some random furry going, "Hi, ooh, what's this?" I would be like, okay, fine, I can deal with grammatical issues. But these people are selling a service. They are selling a service for this stuff, and this is bad. This is really bad. So once again, yes, the misspelling of whatever the hell that word is over here. The redundancy of do any of these sound like you, are you, oh God, I almost threw up a little bit. Anyways, I guess I'm overexposed. The use of the word writer dot 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 at the end of every single one of these things. Just say, are you the kind of writer that, and then you don't need the writer qualifier. Like, do any of these kinds of writers sound like you? The going out of my mind trying to get this project finished. The sick and tired of voice systems. Just want to have a live person. The writing books all my life and just want to have a book that's really good with no hassles. Which doesn't sound very good at all without the writer at the end of it. But like you can, when you're doing technical writing, the idea is to reduce redundancy. And not only are certain sections of this letter redundant, but the word writer at the end of each of these bold parts is redundant. We know we're talking about a writer here. You don't need to repeat that every single freaking time. The reader is intelligent. They can discern. This thing here, what's this squiggly mean? This is the thing that you probably were all anticipating. This squiggly here is me saying page break. And what I mean by that is, like, you see how this so in technical writing, you want to make sure all your ideas are cohesive. You don't want to have things break up thoughts in ways that are doing this. And this whole letter is almost technical. It's mostly technical writing, which is why I think it's her strongest one of the four, just as a spoiler alert. This, like, parts of this almost sold me. If it wasn't surrounded by this, right? Like if you said, "Oh, you need help formatting? Let us help you out." And is formatting frustrating to you? Let us help you out. It's like, but you didn't take the time to format this, right? And this right here is a big one. This is called a page break. So right here you have the subject saying, "I just want my book to look really good," and then that thought doesn't continue until the second page, and there's not too much to it. And there's some white space down here. So literally, if she just went to the first page, hit page break here, it would put a page break between these two things so that this section here would be on the top of the second page. So I don't have to do this back and forth thing, okay, this section refers to this section, right? You want things to have flow. You want things to have a flow, but you want it to be broken up. When you're doing technical writing, you want things to be broken up into certain parts. And for another thing, for technical writing, this is too long. There are too many types of writers being listed here. Cut it down. Cut it down to like 5. You could have taken 3 of these sections and made it into one kind of writer with the formatting issue. And if you need to like format or recreate some of the wording here, fine. There's some redundant wording here too. Just like this is way too long. 2 pages of technical breaking up different kinds of writers. Like this is almost a top. Let's see how many sections there are. There's 1. How many kinds of writers are there? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And by the way, 13 and 14 are the most funniest to me because it looks like she was running out of breath. It's like, am I done yet? Have I filled my 3 pages? Because like it's like only 2 sentences, and the one above it's like, I'm trying to do my marathon here, and like it's just knock my socks off. And then that thing that I just found in this read through. The leading conjunction on a fragmented sentence. So there are certain words that you start a sentence with that you need a comma to emphasize what it is. It's almost like flipping the sentence over, but not just good service, comma, great service. Or, but not just good service, comma, knock your socks off, better than you imagine, rapid response, knowledgeable, flawless, personal service. That's a full sentence. You don't, like, just get rid of the words I mean, replace it with a comma, stick it at the end of that. But of course, like, the business part of the designer's brain here made it said, I want this thing to be bold and emphasized because I made this thing that I'm very proud of. but you could have like literally. So here's how I would fix this. Okay, here's how I'd fix this. You would take this sentence, you would put it into its own sentence, and you can make it bold if you want to. Okay, I'll bite. I will give. Like, here's the thing: it's about compromises. Okay, you don't want to take the heart and soul out of what she's trying to do, which is advertising. And so you can flub the rules a little bit. Obviously, like, people who are really professional will be like, you shouldn't bold anything or you shouldn't do any of that. No, like, I'm fine with formatting stuff like that. I'm fine with the random underlines, whatever. But like, here we go. So, but not just, so you would take this sentence, but not just good service. You would put a colon, knock your socks off, better than you imagine, rapid response, knowledgeable, flawless, personal service. Or comma. I think a colon would work better because there's so many other commas in the sentence. It would separate it better. Obviously, I'm improvising here, but I'm putting more thought into it than this. Oh my god, I was floored. You. That was a live response. Even though I read this before I read this recording, I still got shocked by it. I'm like, that's a fragment. Oh my god, a silver you handed it to me on a silver platter, but the platter is shattered amongst the floor, and I have to get super glue to piece it back together. Anyways, that was the second letter. Now I gotta say, maybe I said the first letter was the best letter. I think as far as like issues go, I think this one was also pretty good. But it only gets better from here, guys. Letter 3 is on the way. And you will see that printed out tomorrow. Same root chime, same root channel. We will analyze and laugh and cry and other things at this thing. So kick that like if you want to, because F the algorithm. I don't care if you don't do it for the algorithm. Do it for you. Kick a comment in the comment section. And subscribe and hit that bell for reminders and things like that. But always do those things for you. Don't ever do them for an algorithm. The computers don't own us. We own the computers. Okay? Let us not be slaves to our machines. Anyways, thank you very much for watching. Have a good one, guys. And I will see you next time for the third letter of Insane Solicitations. Dun 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 dun.